If you're currently healing from a toxic relationship, or you may feel that you are in one, but you're kind of in between, kind of standing in the shadow of denial, you've come to the right place. So I'm going to talk about different roots in why we end up in bad relationships, we stay longer than we should, and how to heal and to stop this cycle from repeating itself. So the first thing you have to look at is your emotional state. Explore if there is any type of desperation in you. Desperation for companionship. Are you have any fear of being alone? These are very big things. If you said yes to any of them, these are huge things. If you have an emotion of desperation, feeling like you need somebody, that means that your emotional state is in survival mode, is very weak. And in that state, this is where we begin to betray ourselves. Would be called self-betrayal. Now, self-betrayal is how we end up in these bad situations, in these bad relationships, and we stay longer than we ever should have. So the first thing that we have to look at is, did you or are you ignoring red flags? You have to get clear on what your red flags are. How do you know what a red flag is? It is knowing what you would do and what you would not do, okay? When you have a clear understanding of your rules for self, this is when you are able to detect things that make the alarms in you go off. It's different for every person, but you have to become clear. So when you see that thing, which would be the red flag, and you feel an alarm go off in your body, you have to ask yourself, what rule is being broken right now? What rule am I witnessing that I do not like, that would not do to that person, that I would not do in general? What rule is this touching on? All right, red flags, we ignore the red flags constantly, and they're just, some of them are small and some of them are very big. And I think everyone's red flags are different for each person. Some of my red flags from my experience, whatever a person's environment looks like is telling you a lot about what's going on in their inner world. That is something to look at. The environment, certain things that they say, okay? There's going to be certain things that person says that stands out. And you're like, uh-oh, wait, what's that? Why is that alarm going off for me based on what they said? So you're looking at environment, you're looking at their actions, and you're listening carefully to their words. The red flags are usually so obvious, I don't know why we overlook them. I think a reason is we don't trust ourselves enough. We don't trust the rules that we have created in ourselves. And we think to ourselves, well, these are my rules, maybe their rules are different. But listen, if two people are going to be joining lives together and your rules are not aligning, this is going to be a problem. Let's pretend that there's a school, right? And the children are coming into the school. In the school, there are certain rules. If the child comes in and doesn't match with those rules, the adults in the school are going to try to correct them. You don't want to spend your life correcting an adult. You don't want to spend your life contorting yourself around the rules you have made that keep you safe. That's why you have the rules. They keep you safe mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So the red flags, do not ignore the red flags. Abandoning your own rules and boundaries is when you become weakened, okay? That is a form of self-betrayal. That is moving yourself over to make a bigger space for someone that you're supposed to be welcoming into your life, someone who's complementing your life. And that means that you both have the same space, you're equals, and you're standing side by side. Is there any part of you that maybe growing up you saw that love equaled self-sacrifice? Loving somebody will never be done properly if you are not loving yourself equally to the person you're giving your love to. What will happen is major resentment You will resent that person, you will feel angry, and you will become exhausted. You do not have to sacrifice and betray yourself and abandon yourself to love another and to receive love from another. There is compromise. Of course, there's going out of your way to do somebody an act of service through love. But when you sacrifice the things that keep you healthy because you think that's your only way to be loved and obtain love, you got it all wrong. And if you're doing this and you ask yourself a true question, are you happy? What is your answer? Do you feel tired? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel miserable? Because most likely your answer is going to be, I'm not happy. I'm drained. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm alone even though I'm with somebody. You're going to have a very bad idea of what love is. You're getting a bad example of what love is, and you're doing it to yourself. We have to take accountability for the decisions that we're making. We have to take accountability that we've ignored the red flags, that we have thrown our rules to the side, that we are sacrificing self-love to receive love and love another. That doesn't even make sense. Love is a circle. Everything needs to be in that circle, you and that person. Remember, you're dealing with an adult. You're not dealing with a child. You're supposed to be their teammate. Two people are supposed to be making each other's life easier. Is that person making your life easier? Or are you being weighed down, dragged down, exhausted, can't keep up? If you can't keep up, it's because you are trying to make up for where that person falls short on your rule book, because your rules never aligned in the first place. They broke this rule, let me make up for it. They broke that rule, let me make up for it. Let's even say that the person you're with has a very dysfunctional environment. They don't keep up with caring for their environment. And you are somebody who's very organized, because organization keeps your mind healthy and clear. If they are breaking that rule on a constant basis and they don't care about themselves and the life around them and the environment, you're going to feel like that rule's broken and you can't function correctly, so you're going to try to fix it and you're going to exhaust yourself. The little details do matter because they are going to ultimately make you feel a certain way. They're ultimately telling you something about this person. And so you really have to make sure that whatever you are doing, you are capable and willing to do it. Sometimes we don't recognize that we're not capable and not willing until we're already in it. This is where looking in and becoming honest with yourself, strict in your rules and regulations. What would I do and what will I not do? I need somebody that closely matches these rules. Are you silencing your intuition or your discernment? Are you silencing yourself? Oh, I don't really know how this is going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. I don't feel fulfilled. I feel very tired, drained, exhausted. I don't even feel like I'm being respected. I don't feel loved. I don't feel cared for. Are you shutting off that voice that is trying to protect you and that is being honest with you? Are you trying to contort a lie into the truth? We do that. Sometimes we know this is a disaster. This could never be. I don't even know why I'm doing this, but we try to make something true. Oh, this will work out, when that's false. All right? We're trying to make lies truthful, and you will spend your life trying to accomplish that, and you never will, because you can never turn a lie into truth. A lot of that time, that lie is convincing ourselves. Your life matters, and your life is just important if you're standing alone. Your life has become unimportant if you're standing beside somebody that you are sacrificing yourself for. You are sacrificing your life for. You aren't God, honey. You are a human being. You weren't supposed to sacrifice yourself. You're supposed to grow. When we silence our intuition or our discernment or our common sense in a way, I always think of that song. It goes, sometimes I can't stand the way that I'm acting to be part of the things you do. Are you telling yourself you're okay with certain things that person does so you could be part of what they do, be around them? That is one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I can't stand the way that I'm acting and what I'm doing to be part of the things that you are doing. Ugh, that means that I'm lying to myself. I'm behaving in a way that's false just to be able to fit in to what they're doing. But in truth and in my true reality, I would say, you look like a clown and you could continue to do those things that you do, and I'm going to continue to do the things that I do. But in my natural reality, I would say, the things that you do are despicable and gross and humiliating, very humiliating, and self-betrayal, filled with self-betrayal, filled with self-harm, filled with weakness. And I don't want to be part of any of the things that you do. We have to become honest with ourselves. What is okay with you and what is not okay with you? And returning to the hurt. When we keep returning to what keeps hurting us, this is the ultimate self-betrayal. You are betraying yourself. How do you feel about your partner that you're with, or that partner in the past whom betrayed you? Because we know that if you're in a toxic relationship, they betray you in some way. How do you feel about somebody betraying you? You don't feel so good about it. You don't feel like you want to deliver them your jewels, your gold, your silver, everything that's good, your diamonds, okay? You wouldn't want to give a betrayer anything. So why are you betraying yourself? Well, you might be betraying yourself because you're not giving yourself anything. And that goes back to the self-sacrifice in order to obtain love from another person. The more that we give to ourselves, the less we are going to betray ourselves. And the more that we're going to allow someone to give to us truly. We're going to seek out the people who are able to be with you side by side as a teammate, giving to each other equally. It may be in different ways, but at least the effort is there. At least the intention is there. You are allowed to have rules, regulations, and boundaries. These are the things that protect you from imposters, from people who are never supposed to be around you, from people who do not have good intent towards you, who do not have their heart facing you. I'm always going to tell you to turn to God, because God makes you tough. God makes you not interested in any of the flip-flop. I used to be like a mat and a carpet that was walked over. I'm not like that anymore because of God. God makes it that you are not interested in things that don't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to be giving precious things to somebody who doesn't even recognize I'm giving that to them. Most of that time, that person that you are pouring yourself out to for no reason is in a cloud, in some kind of a delusion. They can't see clearly. They can't see you. They can't see your value. They can't see that you're a blessing. And a lot of the time, because you have neglected yourself, they don't really respect you because you don't respect yourself. Humans are very difficult, okay? And if you do for somebody and you constantly break your own rules, eventually that human being isn't going to feel like they have a purpose in your life. They're not going to feel like they need to put the effort in it because you will already take care of it. When you give too much for nothing, you are causing that person to become lazy. Are you making that person lazy? Or if this is a past relationship, did you make them lazy and comfortable? Give them a purpose. In my opinion, if you felt any of the ways I explained, you really have to search within yourself and really ask what's going on here. And you may have to give them a new purpose of figuring out life with you invisible, meaning you're not there anymore. We have one life. Don't settle for things that are crushing your mind, your emotions, your body, your soul, your spirit, your laughter, your peace. Remember, difficult times happen between people, but that's not character defects. A lot of those things are misunderstandings. But a character defect If there's somebody in your life where their character is defective, there's a character problem. Don't ignore that. And eventually what can happen if you are around somebody with bad characteristics and with a core that's not right, you can become like them. And you can start chasing away the people in your life that truly love and care about you. There's no time to waste. Everything will just get better the more that you give to yourself, and the more that you refuse to betray yourself, and the more that you are honest with yourself. The only result to honesty is freedom, is peace, healing, new discovery, growth, and wonder. Wonder, wow, what could happen in my life? All of this that you've been doing, there's no wonder. You already know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. You know what's going to happen an hour from now. You know the dynamic. You know the outcomes of different dynamics that take place. You know what they're going to do. You know how you're going to feel. You already know. And if that feeling is constantly pain, disconnect, hurt, distance, disrespect, or feeling not important or unloved or devalued, today is the day to make the change. If you have enough power to betray yourself, you have enough power to walk away from betrayal. It takes more energy for you to betray yourself than it ever would for you to walk away from self-betrayal.